And please raise your hands. I'll call on you for questions.
First of all, you got to give West Virginia credit. Those guys got better as the game went, which is what a good football team's supposed to do. We didn't. I thought our guys fought hard in the first half. Kind of shot ourselves in the foot a little bit with some penalties, some lack of execution. Against a good team like that and a good quarterback, you can't give them a whole lot of time. I don't know how much pressure we got on them. They done a really good job protecting the quarterback. He got away from us, extended some plays, and then in the second half, the guy made some throws, made some catches. And we got to find a way to get them out. So what went from being a very close football game, basically with a little bit lack of execution and execution on their part, gets out of hand just like that. And that's what happens when you got a team that's very well coached, that's got a good trigger man, knows how to protect, and he knows what he's doing with the football. Does a great job. You can disguise and try to muddy the looks all you want. The guy's got a lot of experience, and he's got some really good receivers on the outside that made some plays. But offensively for us in the first half, really shot ourselves in the foot. Those guys done a really good job mixing up the looks, stemming around. Way too many negative plays, and got behind the down distance. I thought our guys did, punch it in, put a good drive together there, 17 plays at one point, got us back in the football game, and done some good things as the game went. There was a lot of positives, but the most important thing is who wins and loses the game, okay? And we didn't win today. West Virginia did, and they deserved to win. So, but I'm going to look at our football team, and I'm going to take the things that we did well, and there's lots of things that we did well. Probably one of the biggest problems that we had is we were inconsistent. We've got to be able to do that. If you're going to be a good football team, you can't make mental mistakes. You got to play with good technique. You've got to do a good job communicating. So we've got some things that we can go back and build on. If we'd have won this game, we'd have been 1-0. Okay, what does that mean? It means we're 1-0. If we lost it, we're 0-1. All right. I'm not real happy about that. But hey, somebody's going to lose, and unfortunately today it's us. So we can either waller in it, or we can sit here and figure out a way to make us better. And I think that's what our guys will try to do.
Right here.
Coach, first I saw Will Greer. Your impressions of him, and did he live up to all the hype you've heard?
I'll tell you something about him, and it really impressed me, because he didn't. Our offense kept the ball in the first half. Okay, so I think we had like 20 minutes to their 8 minutes in the first half. And I thought he done a really good job, not being impatient. He let the game come to him, which shows maturity, shows that he's very well coached. And when he got the looks that he was looking for, he took advantage of it, and he executed, and those guys done a nice job. They made a couple of really nice catches, great throws, nice catches into the right coverage,
Rob.
To answer your question,
Yes,
he's really good.
Coach, you play a bunch of freshmen in the secondary. When they, in their first college game, when they get a look at a player like that in Will Greer, just how much can they benefit coming out of it once you can show them tape?
Well, we played some young guys, and those guys deserve to play. They've performed the best in fall camp, and they've done some good things today. But there's lots of lessons that they got taught today too, and that's part of football. That's part of growing up. I knew this would happen, but I also know in October they're going to be a lot better. So, they got to learn from it. They got to grow up, and I think they will, because they're made the right way. So I got to do a better job of coaching them too. Put them in a couple of bad spots, and that's my fault. And I'll help them out a little bit more the next time, hopefully.
Patrick and David Cobb.
Jeremy, in the first half, I think one of the positives probably was that long touchdown drive. You didn't look like you hesitated on the fourth and goal of the one to go for it. Kind of what was your thinking there? What was are you trying to send a message there to your team?
Well, it's like we talked about, we're not here to run a sprint, we're here to run a marathon, and we're trying to build a culture, and we want to be an aggressive team that plays to win. And the ball's 4th and goal on the 1, down 10-0. It started on the 1, and after 3 plays, we were still on the 1. So it might have been on the 2. So you can't get it in from there. It don't say a whole lot for you. So we've got to build our confidence and be more physical, and heck, we're going to get 1 yard in 4 plays.
David, then Blake.
Jeremy, what's your instant evaluation of Tim Jordan's performance?
Well, I thought our runners ran hard. You know, there was a lot of penetration with their D line. They gave some different looks and stemmed around and done a nice job, which is what they do. They do a really good job at it. So the whole deal going into the game, we talked about staying out of negative plays. You know, for the most part, our guys did. At running back, you know, when they were given a chance, they did. So Tim's got good hands. He's a good competitor. You know, he's a good special teams player. So it didn't surprise me the way he played.
Blake, and then David Oben, and then Wes.
Jeremy, why did Jarrett earn the opportunity to get today's game, and what did you think about the way he played?
Well, I think that both guys, talking about Keller, they both deserve to play. You know, they've worked really hard in camp. It's been a really close battle between those two guys, and Will McBride. Will's done a really good job too. But you know, Jared is probably a little more athletic. In the last week, he's had maybe just a little bit better, probably practices. Not take nothing away from Keller, but I told both of them, you know, we're going to need both of them to play. And I told Jared, I don't care if you throw you're 24 for 24 in this game the next week, Keller Christ is going to play. We need to play him to give him an opportunity to create some, just a backup quarterback, or you know. So that's what we'll let him play some this next week. You know, you kind of go into a game like this, you don't want to say, well, I'm going to play you the 3rd drive. Well, what if the 3rd drive you got the ball on the -1? You know. So we felt like it was important to give who we decided to be the quarterback a chance to be the quarterback, not to look over their shoulder. If they start slow, they got a chance to rebound. And yeah, I think Jarrett did. I think he did. I thought he kept his poise, which is important for a quarterback. You know, one thing about a quarterback, it takes a lot. It takes 10 other guys around you to execute on a high level to give you a chance to have success. And there was a time today we didn't do that, and I did think he kept his poise and tried to play within himself.
David, then Wes.
Jerry, how would you assess what you got out of the offensive line tonight?
Sorry, Dave.
How would you assess what you got out of the offensive line tonight?
Well, you know, there's some runs that we hit in there, and there's some runs that we lost 3 or 4 yards on. You know, you're not going to be very good in this league or in any league when you run the football if you can't get back to the line of scrimmage. So I would say inconsistent would probably be the best thing. There was a few runs in there that we hit up in there. But I'll tell you about our O-line, okay? And I'm not making excuses. All right? I'm just going to tell you the facts. All right? Trey Smith has practiced for 8 days, okay? He's 19 years old, okay? Jameer Johnson was not here in the spring. He played left tackle most of the time, and he played guard when Trey came back. Brandon Kennedy wasn't here in the spring. Chance Hall just started this fall camp. Because we didn't know who these guys, if they were going to be back, we had to prepare like they wasn't going to be back. All right, so that means we had to play guys at a bunch of different spots. All right, well, when you do that, sometimes you're not hardly a unit yet, okay? I like our guys on the offensive line. I believe in them. I think the guys are hard-nosed. I think they fight. But we've got to execute a little better, okay? And I think as this season goes and those guys get to play together and kind of play the same positions over and over, I think they'll do that. I really do.
Wes, then Joe Rexrod.
Jimmy, it looked like y'all were mixing up some stuff, trying to get some pressure on Greer, and just a lot of it. What we're able to get to him a lot. Did that surprise you, sort of the lack of pressure y'all able to get on him?
Well, they 7-man protected a lot, which is what they do, which is smart, you know. And they're committed to running football. They run football, so they're committed to it out of those looks. And if you put more up there than they can block, now they're playing you one-on-one. Okay, well, you're playing one-on-one, they 7-man protect, and they got wide receivers that can create separation, and a quarterback that can put the ball on them. So, you know, it's kind of, you got to pick your spots about pressuring them. You can't just let the guys sit back there. And a couple of times, you know, the first half we pressured a little bit and had some success. Lots of times it's not about hitting the quarterback, it's just effective, getting him off the spot, moving him around a little bit. I think the big thing in the second half was 3rd down. You know, 3rd down and 2nd long. I think we were 100% defensively in the first half on 3rd down. I think that's right. And I can think of at least 2 times in the second half that we had pretty good calls for what they did. We didn't execute them, you know. So got to fix that.
Last couple, Joe and Marshall.
Yeah, Jim, you guys score, we get 10-7, get the ball back. Did you feel like you had things flipped at that point? And how big was that stop? You went to London twice there, didn't get it. How important was that moment in the game?
Can you repeat that one again?
You guys scored, got the ball back. I think you were about there 40, 10-7 game. You went London twice, didn't get it. Did you feel like you had the game kind of flipped at that point? How important was that sequence?
Well, for us, based off the strength of their team, in my opinion, their offense, even though their defense played really well tonight, I mean, they've got some difference makers on offense. I felt like that we needed to be aggressive, that we needed to score touchdowns. We needed to find a way to win this game, find a way to keep those guys to field goals in the red area, which we did early in the game. And when we got down there, we needed to score touchdowns. We didn't need to kick field goals. So every possession was important to us. But yes, I would say that, you know, that was probably a big part of the game.
Final question, Marshall.
Obviously, the result being what it was, but you know, you look at this game as your first as a head football coach. Can you just go through, you know, the game in general for you being, you know, having your debut from calling the plays to just being the head coach in general?
Well, to me, the most important thing is how your team plays, because how your team plays tells you what kind of coach you are. Okay, their team played better than our team today, and that's on me. I got to get these guys to where they execute at a higher level, where they believe in themselves, and I think we'll do that. So, you know, that's the great thing about playing these games. You know, it's great. It's great for college football. It's good for our program, and it makes you better. It makes you better. There's lots of lessons to be learned for us today. The key to the drill is we got to learn the lesson and go apply. But you know, West Virginia had a fantastic plan, and they played